story. Hi, I'm Gail. Glad to meet you. I've heard your name dozens of times. Any questions?
That's great.
Yeah, that's kind of the nice thing about that. You feel like you're saving.
This is quite a sight, and I'd like to welcome all of you to Gail and Dara's house 26th anniversary dinner. Tomorrow, when Tyler and Laura get married, will be our 26th wedding anniversary. And you know, I mean, the towels look a little bad. Plates are chipped, so we may just keep a few things. So I appreciate it. You know, this is very, very exciting. I will have to admit, I'm a little bit in awe of the Paulson's side of the family here. You may not know this, but when my friends, you know, people who I consider very close friends, found out who Tyler was marrying, the thing that came up over and over again is, boy, he really married above himself. I mean, and so we're in awe of the Paulsons. We hope that you'll put up with us, the house side. But you know, we're very, very thrilled to have Laura as my second daughter-in-law. So this is just wonderful. Let me just tell you the way we're going to proceed here. I've asked my son, Tyler's older brother, Jason, to offer a blessing. Then they're going to come in and serve the food. While they're doing that, we want to have some introductions. And we're going to start here with this table over here. And then we'll go that table, just like that. And just so that we get introductions while the food is being served. As soon as the food is there and you feel comfortable and polite, go ahead and start chewing. So, but don't wait till all the introductions are through. So, Jason? Jason, in fact, why don't you start the introductions right here?
Hey, my name is Jason Howe. I'm Tyler's older brother, and this is my wife, Lori.
My name is Nicole Howe, and I am Tyler's little sister.
My name is Brad Bonham, and I was Tyler's missionary companion.
Jason Trask, and I'm also Tyler's mission companion.
We're the Porters, Rich and Sharon. We happen to know that they were both his favorite companions. Still trying to work our way through that one. Sharon is Gail's sister.
I'm Rob Porter. I guess you would say, with the exception of Laura, I'm Tyler's reason for being. I'm what keeps him going, basically. But I'm also his cousin.
That's my wife, Jenner.
Other reason for being.
Let's stay back here.
I'm Lars and Susie and my husband.
I'm Laura's Aunt Shauna, and her uncle, Mike.
Rob.
We're the Larson. I'm Laura's Aunt Margie. I'm Craig.
I'm Teresa, Laura's aunt. I'm Laura's younger sister, Marissa. I'm Tyler's cousin, Colette. I'm Laura's older sister, Chandra, and this is my husband, Scott.
I'm Laura's brother Scott. This is my wife Sarah. This is our baby cousin.
I'm Laura's oldest brother. I'm Sean. This is my wife,
Okay, I am Tyler's absolutely most favorite aunt. And this is my husband, Ralph. I'm Regina.
I'm Dave Taylor. I'm Tyler's cousin. This is my wife, Amy.
I'm Aunt Ruth, and I know I'm his favorite aunt. He tells me that every time he sees me. He tells me that. We're happy to be here. I'm Michelle Hanson, and I'm told I look like one of Gail's sisters, and I really want to be part of the group. But I'm happy to be considered one of the house good friends.
Russell Entz, my wife Margaret, and Laura. Tyler's going to be a wonderful father. He was the best babysitter we ever had. Just don't let him play with the toys, because he breaks them.
Hi, I'm Heidi Dickman, and this is my husband, John, and we're friends in the house.
I'm Curtis Howe. This is my wife Marlise. I thought I was Tyler's favorite uncle until we started comparing notes here at the table. So we're happy to be here.
I am Tyler's favorite. I'm Brian Howe, and this is my wife, Carla.
We are Tyler's grandparents, Noel and Renee Howe.
And Laura has been good buddies with our youngest daughter, Shelley.
My name is Jill Newell, and I was Laura's roommate in Jerusalem, and
I'm Shawnee Stapp. I was her best reliever and her roommates and best friends.
I'm Marvin Ryder, and this is my wife Denise, and I believe Laura is my second cousin once removed. But we've been good buddies since she was about 4 when I came to watch her perform in Charles Dickens Festival.
I'm Ramona Murray, and Laura's grandma.
I'm Mike Murray, and this is my my wife Linda, and I'm Laura's second uncle, actually. Richard and Pam Oman, we're Laura's foster parents. Laura's sort of the intellectual soul.
Thank you very much. I think everybody got that right, so that's very, very good. Enjoy your dinner. I might mention there is, Tyler is half Canadian, and so there is a Canadian custom. If, when you get a little bored during dinner, and you'd like to have some entertainment, just do this to your goblin. And Tyler and Laura will be embraced and passionate kissing. This is, like I said, this is Canadian, it's very important, and let's just have a rehearsal right now. So, okay, it's going to get better than that. So we're going to have entertainment that will be one for the ages. Really been quite good.
Jason and Laura didn't live with us.
Jason and Laura, if you could really demonstrate that same kiss that I saw down in the family right now. Maybe it's all the best. They're not even married yet, so. What I saw was about 45 seconds.
I don't think Tyler's ever been embarrassed in his life.
Oh, no, you think so?
When he got off his mission, we were at the airport. He popped off the plane, you know, and started just kind of looking around. Tyler steps out of that little door, puts both hands up.
That sounds like Tyler. Here I am. And now you can't do that. Okay, I think.
And Mikkel, stand up and come on this side. We're going to have a little competition here between the siblings. As you can see, however, we're outnumbered. It's 4-2, so we're going to have some other reinforcements. So we're going to, on the house side, we're going to go to the just a couple of the cousins. Rob Porter, would you please come up here? And Dave Taylor. What do you think? Does it look like a fairly even team here? Is it a good dozen?
This one's a lot clearer because there's not, we need more detail.
We do need, that would really help on the, at least on the intelligence. Well, we're going to try to just go for this, okay? Okay, now this is what we're going to do. We have 8 people up here. The competition, actually it's going to be an individual competition, so the teams don't really matter. But I just want to get the swing of it. Okay, so what we're gonna have Sean, you're gonna start off, okay? And we're gonna. Do you have a story about Laura? You have something? Now, Chandra, you have a story about?
Yes.
Okay, okay, you got the gist of it. All right, now. There's not too many in this room who can remember the old TV show Queen for a Day. Do you remember that show? Anybody remember? Raise your hand if you remember Queen for the Day. Everyone over 82 remembers that. Now, you remember how they picked the queen? Okay, after the person told their story. John Kildare, or whatever his name was, he went over and they had an applause-o-meter, okay? He put his hand over the head of the person who had related the story, and the person who got the loudest applause was the winner. Well, this is what we're going to do. The person you feel has the greatest story, clap the loudest, and that will be the winner. And now, we have prizes. This will be an incentive of motivation to all of our contestants. I have in my hand here an official Joseph Smith Memorial 2-hour validation. The winner will get this, okay? So first up, our first contestant, Sean Paulson. If you would come to the microphone and let's bring him on with a round of applause.
Now inviting us to tell Laura stories.
No,
We could go. Right.
There's no chance.
That's true. It is kind of a challenge separating out stories about my sisters and who was who. But this one I know definitely was a Laura story. After my mission, I stopped wearing the scoop neck garments and I decided I liked the crew neck, cotton t-shirt style undergarment. I was missing a pair or two that I just couldn't find. I figured, well, I was sometimes at BYU, sometimes at home doing laundry, and I just couldn't find those kind of pairs. Laura came home from school that day and I figured out where that missing crew neck garment was. How many times she wore it. Probably the nicest, cleanest white t-shirt she had.
All right. I don't usually like giving speeches because I can't think of things to say. But when they told me I just had to say something funny about Tyler, ideas were coming from everywhere. Tyler, has a lot of funny things that happened to him throughout his life. Most of them are pretty short stories, like when we go skiing and he forgets to bring his ski coat, when he breaks his pole skiing because he's trying to bend it back and things like that. One experience I do remember in particular with Tyler was when we were both pretty young. We had a rule in our house about biting. And my mom always told us if we ever bit anyone, she would bite us.
What a good mother, huh? How did we make it this far?
One day, Tyler bit me. And we were really young. I went crying to my mom. Look what Tyler's done to me. He's bit me. My mom was so furious about the whole thing, she didn't even listen, grabbed my arm, thinking I was the one who bit Tyler, and bit me right on top of the other bite. Tyler went his merry way, thinking this is the greatest rule in the world. Anyways.
Just for your information, Gail has not bit anybody for 4 or 5 months.
Okay, I got the food category. We kind of split the stories up. I think I didn't go on for a while though, if I can remember, Mom. One was my dad and Laura and I we were driving through Utah, and Laura wakes up in the car and she goes, "Hey Dad, what's all the salsa in the middle of the road?" Because we'd seen so many, what do you call it? Roadkill. She was just asking, why is there so much salsa? Okay.
Lots of people make that mistake.
I just remember a time in our bathroom having this horrid smell, and I opened the cupboards underneath the sink, and there is this half-eaten can of sardines just left there. She'd actually eaten them. Laura wondered, wait, I'm not really sure how it goes. Okay, on the mustard, how there's that little bit of liquid that forms at the top, and you shake it up so you can make sure the mustard gets out. The mustard would not come out. And
I just went to the sink. She just squeezed off the water.
yeah, Laura just thought you squeezed off the water before you put the mustard on. That's why the mustard will never come out. Okay. Laura also, you can find remains of spoons with Crisco dipped in sugar, but you wouldn't find many remains actually.
Letting me know these things is why we did this before the wedding.
I think she still likes it because if you give her any sort of cake, all the frosting is gone off her before anything else. Or she'll eat the extra piece of frosting that's left on people's plates. Laura also loves Starburst, and she can eat at least a whole bag of Starburst in one sitting while watching a movie. Great? Yeah.
What am I going to stop covering the food?
Sardines.
Wow, these things are kind of tough to beat. Well, most of you, I'm sure Tyler's told you all his many talents that he has. He usually doesn't miss that on first encounters, but most of you have probably heard that he's a very talented singer and dancer.
We'd like to see it.
And you know, I think he must have had this awe-inspiring goal to become something of it, maybe on Broadway or something, because he got real excited with his dancing skills after he learned to swing dance a little bit. He would take me out into the backyard, put some Neil Diamond music on,
That's when you swing to it.
and try to swing dance to Neil Diamond. The other thing he got excited about was, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the movie Oklahoma, and there's this musical number, It's All or Nothing. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that or not. But Tyler one day was determined to learn all the words to this song. And so we got the movie out, we wound it over and over till he got all the words memorized, and then he got my grandpa's old Stetson hat that was a little too small for his head, and made me get on this cowgirl skirt, and we had to perform it in front of our home. Needless to say, I don't think Broadway's going to be calling us.
If the Boston should win this, it's really because of the source material we're working with. This story is actually an example of where Laura really gets this material, where we get this material, and where Laura ended up with it. Just to say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Now Sean, after he graduated from BYU, he started school up at the U and started attending the singles work there. And he got a new bishop named Bishop Reese, who happens to be a friend of mine, his father. So he came home to eat Sunday dinner with the family. And he comes home and is just explaining how he got a new bishopric. And it was a big deal, and then he started telling about the individual members. He says, and Bishop Reese, and my mom interrupts him and goes, Sean, no, you said Bishop Rick. No, his name's Bishop Reese. And Laura jumps in, John, you said Bishop Rick. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I don't want to ruin Tyler's stature in the your eyes. Many of you may not know, Tyler has a tendency to exaggerate, to fib. Many of you may not know, Tyler, when he was young, apparently, met the prophet. And the prophet placed his hands on Tyler's head and said, he'll be the next prophet. So when that does happen, try to forget these stories. I wasn't aware I was going to be doing this, by the way, so I thought through my head and of things I could tell about Tyler. There's many. Tyler lives in his own world. Really, September 11th, for example, at 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Tyler storms the door and says, "Guys, did you hear what happened?" But the real story I was thinking of was last summer, Tyler and I, we were rooming together, and we were going to go hike Timpanogos, and it was getting pretty late, like 1 o'clock in the morning, we had to get up at 3. We were getting this day where we were getting kind of laughy, and we go in our room, we just got a new roommate. Tyler and I were on a bunk bed. I was above Tyler, he was below me, and our new roommate, Jim, was across the room. Tyler was a little hesitant to go in the room. He said, "Robert, are you coming to bed?" I said, "Just go to bed. I'll be in there in a second." He said, "But the new guy's in there." I said, "Well, so what?" He said, "Well, what's he going to do to me? I don't even know him." So we went into the room together. The lights went off. That was Tyler's job, was turning off the lights. And I did it well. And he did a fine job. To your credit. I'll profit one day. But the lights came off, and I was kind of getting in bed. I fell asleep pretty quick, so I was kind of dozing off, and I kind of hear a giggle. And then Tyler all of a sudden climbing into my bed with me. And I was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm scared. What's he going to do to me?" So it's good to know that Laura's there.
That was a joke that was supposed to end there.
Not to destroy complete faith in all of those of you who, like Richard, have pegged Laura as the intellectual. I think this story goes kind of along with the Bishop Rick story. We're driving down the road. It's Laura, me, Chandra, and my mom. And Chandra exclaims, "Hey, wait a minute, that sign doesn't say pedexing, it says pedestrian crossing." And Laura goes, no, it says pedzing, Chandra, pedzing.
All right, for those of you who didn't know, I used to live at the house for quite some time, and while I lived there, we'd always play this game called Rook, all right? It's this card game where, I'll kind of explain what happened. While Tyler was gone, out of the room, we switched all his cards and gave him a perfect hand. We kind of thought that he'd walk right in and be like, "Oh, you guys, you switched all my cards," but he came in, he was all serious, and his eyes lit up. When you start playing this game, you kind of say how many points you think you'll get. And Tyler's like, "Oh, we're going to get them all." And we keep playing this game, and the whole time we're just trying to, keep from laughing while Tyler's over there so content. and we get to the end of the game, and Tyler's like, "Yeah, I played great, and we finally tell him, and Tyler's like, so ashamed. Like, I didn't know people could be that. But it was just fun to share.
Okay, here we go. Again, do your applause for the best story of the night, okay? We have the Rook game. Tyler, last year, our family took a trip to New York City. And one of the things that Tyler really wanted to do when he was in New York was to meet David Letterman, to get on the Dave Letterman show, okay? Late night with David Letterman. And Tyler, being the brilliant guy you already found out, answered the questions that you had to answer to get into the show. In fact, Dave Letterman was so impressed with Tyler that he put him on the front row with his sister Mikkel. And that show aired on April 16th, 2001. And where there was Tyler there on the front row, just acting like an idiot. But there was a bond. There was a bond that was created between David Letterman and Tyler Howe. And Tyler and Laura do not know this, but Dave Letterman has sent his own special wedding present to Dave, or excuse me, to Tyler and Laura from Dave, okay? And he sent them a special top 10 list. So here we are. Here we go. This is it. Top 10 reasons why Tyler and Laura want to get married. Okay, from the home office in Provo, Utah, top 10 reasons why Tyler and Laura want to get married. Here we go. Okay, number 10. They both have been evicted from their home bedrooms. Number 9. Tyler hopes marriage will generate some beard growth. Laura hears that the Howes give great clothes to daughters-in-laws on birthdays and Christmas. Number 7. They both want to help Gail Howe get Lori Howe and the future Laura Howe names straight. Number 6. So Tyler will not be tempted to steal his father's socks, ties, shirts, film, CDs, cologne, shaving cream, razors, belts, tripods, books, and underwear. If you're concerned, just for your information, Tyler has repented and has been cleared by his bishop, state president, and the area authority, and he can get married tomorrow. Number 5. Tyler thinks a honeymoon would be a nice change of pace from working in the MTC. Number 4. After knowing each other since the 3rd grade, they think they have each other figured out. Number 3. After a 4-day backpack trip, they have seen each other at their worst, and it's still okay. Number 2. They want to prove to the world that 2 absent-minded people can produce a normal child. We'll be waiting with anticipation for that one. And the number 1 reason Tyler and Laura want to get married is 4 words. They love each other. Now, at this point in the program, we'll give Tyler a chance to respond, Tyler and Laura a chance to respond to that. Tyler, I don't know if you know this, but he has heard, Mikkel mentioned his singing talent. Tyler has prepared a lovely singing musical number, Climb Every Mountain. He's got a great vibrato, too. Make sure that, but if he doesn't want to do that, Tyler has done a marvelous little poem that, for Laura. And excuse me? What's the song? Excuse me. Don't bite me. Okay, so we'll turn the time over to Tyler to respond to everything that has been given to him and Laura. Of course, Gail, I'm getting to you. I don't want to get dead. Okay, so Tyler and Laura, the time is now yours.
Well, my dad told me to start this off that we may be burned and that we'd have a chance to rebuttal. Quite honestly, it's all the truth. I'm not going to say it from my marriage on, so it's a truth. This actually was a wedding gift to Laura. I promise you I wouldn't have written it had I known I would have to give it right now. But it's just a few thoughts, especially, mainly from our friendship throughout our lives. From going to school, long before we ever dated or anything along those lines, we were very best friends. And she taught me calculus. I beat her on the tests. She'd take notes in the biology classes while they were boring biology classes. I dozed at times. But I consider her, and not just now that I'm prepared to marry her, but throughout my life, my greatest friend. But my sister, Robin. Took a lot of work. My Laura, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm so glad I'm married. That's Robert. My Laura sonnet. Explain again the reasons you love me. I smile because I've told her this before. Just once again, I want to hear it more. She knows as well as I do, hopefully. She dances in the rain excitedly. Without her shoes as she goes out the door, she smiles mischievously and asks what for. She studies long, but often quits for me. She's beautiful, kind, thoughtful, and sincere, and helps me reach the furthest that I may. A problem will she never fail to mend. She smiles and makes all words disappear. I love her so, I wish I knew to say, my Laura, oh my dearest friend.
Tyler went to ask my dad. My dad told him that I may be. Are you sure you want her? She's a touch absent-minded. I didn't write a home. But I just, more as a rebuttal, I just like to say thank you first to my parents and then to the house for just being wonderful to me and for helping me prepare this and just work after this. And then just to tell her that I love you, and one of the men in my life is already spoken. And I'm grateful for that. That's all.
We need to turn some time over to the parents of this beautiful young woman. So, Dave and Deirdre, the microphone is yours.
I didn't come prepared. We want to thank the Howells for how wonderful they've been to our daughter. And he may say that the neighbors know the Paulsons, and they get a few comments once in a while, but I want you to know that I went to a National Writing Program Administrators Conference, and Darius Howe was quoted at that conference. I was pretty impressed. We love Tyler. He stole my heart in high school when he started calling me Mom. And so I could never figure out why Laura ever dated anybody else. And so just extremely grateful that they finally got together, because we love Tyler very much and want to welcome him to our family. It's been mentioned that Laura is great source material. I thought that I mentioned some of the sources of the source material. And the way to do that is to mention some of her favorite books that she had growing up. And by doing so, I think you'll understand some of her talents, her preferences, her personality as they were formed at a very young age. Before I mention that, though, let me mention that Laura barely has skimmed through and made it to this evening. She had, I think it was yesterday, 2 papers due, 2 finals due, 2 books to read and write book reviews on. It's been a very crazy semester, but Laura's very focused and can achieve anything she wants to do. My first indication of that was probably when she was at a dance class. She was about 3 years old. My kids all did Virginia Tanner dance, but before that, they would do more of a neighborhood thing. And this woman had a wonderful sort of studio downstairs overlooking a stream. And they were supposed to act like chipmunks. So everybody jumps around, acting like chipmunks, and I can't find Laura. And I go, where is she? And she's in a corner. She's going. I mean, the other kids were acting like chipmunks. Laura was a chipmunk. Her favorite book sort of gives an indication of her predilections towards visual arts, which sort of accounts for her art history major. And she always loved colors, as shown by this book, which is so well worn that the cover's missing. And it's called Red is Best. My mom doesn't understand about red. I like my red stockings the best. My mom says, where are these? Your white stockings look good with that dress. But I can jump higher in my red stockings. I like my red stockings the best. It goes on. I like red paint the best. My mom says, but Laura, there's hardly any red paint left. Maybe you should use orange instead. But red paint puts singing in my head. I like red paint the best. I like red because red is best. When Laura was also about 3 years old, we were invited to Chandler's dance class to kind of observe. It was a parent observation day. And the teacher was reading from this book, I Thought I Saw. And Laura was just on the edge of her seat, just about ready to burst. And it's a book I had read to her. I knew it was a book that she liked. We went through some of the teacher read through some of the beginning things. I'll show you how this book works. I thought I saw a stallion gallop across the sky. I pinched myself and looked again. A cloud was scurrying by. So you think you see one thing and you see something else. It goes through this thing. At the very end, it says, it's falling apart, also well done. Things are not always what they seem. You're never bored. Take it away, Laura.
You can hold this wall.
So the teacher was trying to read it, and all of a sudden, this little 3-year-old does what Lauren just did now. It finishes off the whole thing. I had no idea she had it memorized. She had the entire book memorized. She's always had a great memory for whether it be The Simpsons or lyrics or whatever. Just She lives life pretty much as a poem in Reflections on the Gift of Watermelon talks about. It's the first poem in the book. This was also one of Laura's favorites book. And it's called How to Eat a Poem. It's also How to Eat Life by Search, okay? Don't be polite, bite in. Pick it up with your fingers and lick the juice that may run down your chin. It is ready and right now, whenever you are. And I think Laura has lived life to its fullest and just jumped in and experienced it and celebrated life. Laura loves nature, whether it be, as Howie said, dancing in the rain in her bare feet, watching the stars come out. This was one of her favorite books. Ricky Levinson, Watch the Stars Come Out. Talks about a little girl who is an immigrant. And when they're aboard the ship coming over, they live underneath the deck. And so the little girl can't see the stars come out at night. She finally makes it to America, to make a long story short, and it ends by saying, I kissed Mom and Sister goodnight. Papa patted me on my head and said I was his little princess. I went into our room and climbed into Sister's bed. It was right next to the window. I watched the stars come out, 1, 2, 3. Now, raising someone with all of this exuberance and interest in life was a little bit tough in that Laura never wanted to go backwards. In other words, she never wanted to pick things up. And so trying to convince her to to slow down and collect things was a bit of a challenge. And so I finally found this book. It's called If Everybody Did. And I don't know if Laura ever knew why I would read her the story, but she liked it. When there's only one, that's just somebody. But when there's one and one and one and more, that's everybody. Did you ever think of what would happen if everybody did things like make muddy tracks? This is what would happen if everybody did. Spill tacks. This is what would happen if everybody did. Pull off a bud. This is what would happen if everybody did. It just goes through all of these things to the end where it says, but when there's only one who leaves, when there's one who leaves no tracks, one who doesn't use tacks, one who smells a bud, one who steps over the mud, and it goes through all these things. This is what would happen if everybody did. I'm not sure it's effective, but I felt better about it. But Laura's very favorite book, on which I'll close, is When the Sky is Like Lace. And this one is so loved that it's disappeared from our home, and I had to get this from the library today. On a voluminous night, on a bimulous night, the sky is like lace. Do you know how it looks when it's bimulous and the sky is like lace? It doesn't happen often, but when it does, kaboom, and everything is strange, splendid, and plum purple. If you plan to go out on a bimulous night and the sky is like lace, here's some rules you must remember. Never talk to a rabbit or a kissing gourami. If your nose itches, don't scratch it. Wear nothing that is orange, not even underneath. And if you have a lucky penny, put it in your pocket, because on bimulous nights when the sky is like lace and the otters are singing and the snails are sulking and the trees are dancing and the grass is like gooseberry jam, it's a good idea to be prepared, because you never know. So my wish for Laura, and Tyler as well, is that they have many bimulous nights and no orange underwear. And that their whole life is bimulous.
I was a little worried when I looked over there, it's got this whole page here, and I thought, well, I'll just speak a little from my heart. I don't have much heart, I guess. I think one thing I've learned today is that I just compliment everybody, all of Tyler's friends, by saying you're his favorite. Really, I think all of you are our favorites. And we're grateful to have you here to share this night with us and to celebrate two wonderful people. I'm proud to say that I know Tyler's name, but I wasn't sure for many years. He was always known as Howie. And I think the only family that ever knew him was Howie was us. Except Laura had this friend that she gave the name Howie to, and her greatest moment was when she found out that the teachers had that in their roll book. His name was Howie in the Skyline roll books. And actually, I used to kid Deirdre when we were on our mission. She was writing to a missionary. I didn't know if it was proper for her to be writing a missionary in the Argentine mission. But she didn't even know what his last name was, because we didn't know what his last name was. We didn't know Hal or Hal or everyone else got to tell favorite stories about Laura. We had a friend in our ward, Sister Raymond, and one time Laura went over and we played with the Mangum girls, and when we came to pick Laura up, she said, "Does she ever quit singing?" And that to me is familiar to Laura. She's always singing in her heart. She's a happy person. She's been she frustrates a lot of her siblings and some of these. Trail that Deirdre talks about, she never wants to go backwards. But she gets mad for about 9.5 minutes. And then she's happy again, and it's like nothing ever happened. It's all past. And I wish I had that trait in my life. Actually, I have a thank you I want to give, and I think it's to her 9th grade English teacher. Laura, with her mind going every which way, would do a lot of homework, but she would never hand it in. And I believe it was her 9th grade English teacher kicked her out of honors English because probably she didn't hand in all this homework, you know, so she said she's not very good. And we growled about it, and finally she went out and made Laura mad. And I don't think she's had anything less than an A- through high school and college because of that 9th grade English teacher. And I don't even know the English teacher's name. I think we're kind of mad at her anyway. But Laura is that way. When she makes up her mind, she does it. And I'm grateful for that, Laura. I'm grateful that I can be here this night. I'm proud of all my children. Perhaps what I'm proud about most is who they've chosen for their mates. And I'm proud of each one of them. I'm especially proud for Laura that she was finally able to sell her Howie. Now he becomes Tyler. And we get to know him a little better as she is in his life. Laura, we love you.
I would be remiss if I didn't give a chance to my best friend. My best friend who I've been married to for 26 years tomorrow. And I just want to get a little bit of the thunder in before, because we're going to be forgotten tomorrow. I mean, no one's going to say happy anniversary to me. My sweet wife, who is just remarkable. Deja vu, 26 years ago, we were in a situation like that, and my brother-in-law, Richard Porter, was the MC and did a much better job than I did, but told one funny story after another, and that great spirit there, and that has been shared here a little bit this evening. Gail?
Before we came, I told Darius I would talk 30 seconds and no longer, but I've changed my mind. You're getting so many wonderful thoughts going. Before Tyler was born, when I was pregnant with him, I had one boy, and I wanted in the worst way to worry. And we didn't have ultrasounds, and I didn't know, and it was about 3 weeks before he was born. And I had a dream. I've had 2 of these in my life that just move you beyond talking about it almost. But in this dream, I had a little baby boy in my arms. And I was crying, and I had to leave this baby boy behind. And I remember Darius came up to me and I said, I didn't know I could love a boy like this. And I told him about it the next morning. He says, well, do you think this is real? And it was a very important dream, but my worldly intuitions wanted a girl, so it wasn't real. 3 weeks later, I had Tyler. And he only had jaundice, but he had to stay at the hospital. You'd think I was losing my child to death. I remember I'd run in and nurse him, and then I'd try and go home and do something. I'd go back and nurse him. And when I'd leave him, I would just sob, and I'd hold this boy in my arm and think, I didn't know, and I remembered the dream, that I could love a boy like this. Well, he's been a joy ever since. When he went out on dates, he would come home after at 11 o'clock or 12, and if Darius was up doing something, Tyler, I could hear the door shut, he'd walk down the hall, and then I'd hear this run, 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 and he'd jump over to my bed and do a somersault like a log and land on the bed. And he'd say, "Hi, Mom, are you awake?" And we'd talk and talk. One other memory was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I was at Marie Callender's, and this darling, bubbly, blonde girl I'd met once came up, and she said, "Hi, Sister Hal, I'm Laura, and I know your son, Tyler." And I said to her, "I like that girl. We've got to get her to marry my son." Now, you think that's funny, but I did it once before with Jason and Lori. And so we've done everything we could for 6 years to make sure she liked us, even if she didn't like him. And we are thrilled at the result, which has nothing to do with us, thank heavens, but we are thrilled. My third child, I haven't picked out a spouse for yet, so let me know. The last comment I wanted to share with you is the thrill I have of being included into this wonderful Paulson family. We went and had a shower on Monday night and met most of those relatives and the immediate family. I called Deirdre 5 times a day. That might slow down after tomorrow, I don't know. And I tell her stories about what's going wrong and what's going right. It's like we've been best friends for 20 years. And the goodness in that home and the love in that home, it feels, when Tyler said that, it feels like our home. Not that that's necessarily right, but it's always good to feel this thing. We love you, and I'm thrilled for the opportunity my child has to be part of you. And I'm just excited for tomorrow.
We want to thank all of you. To a great extent, what Tyler and Laura are because of the influence that each of you have had on their lives. And I just had one closing thought that, after knowing my son and getting to know Laura, and what a dear, sweet young woman she is, if I was a spirit in the pre-existence, I can't think of 2 parents that I would rather come down to than Tyler and Laura. I mean, just think what a wonderful environment, what a wonderful learning, spiritual experience it will be for those sweet spirits to come into this union here. So we're excited, and we have hope that there will be a normal child that comes from this. Thank you again. We do stay as long as you want. The food's all paid for, so we're in good shape. But we really appreciate all of you being here. We're looking forward to tomorrow and for a great day. Thanks.
One more stand.